Okay, let's work on the back now. And since I'm going to actually just continue this perpendicular line all the way across, I want to use that also for the waist of the back darts, okay, so that it looks like it's even and you can kind of hopefully see that well. All right, now we're going to go ahead and put a straight line using one of these markings here, this torso sloper. I'm going to go ahead and carry that all the way up like that. And then put the back sloper right butt up against that center back line, just like that. And I am going to tack that down with some tacks as well. I'm going to go ahead and put one here at the end of that dart so we can see that. I'm going to put one here at that dart just to keep it sturdy. I'm going to go ahead and trace around my back sloper like that, back bodice sloper, just like this. Okay. And I'm going to put a light line here. I'm going to put a light line here as well. Okay, I'm going to lift that up and take that off. I'm going to then put the back butt up against here as well. And I'm going to have that all the way to continuing that line with an indication here. I'm going to go ahead and put a perpendicular line across. That'll be the bottom of this portion as well. I'm measuring the center back to get the actual hip marking, which is right there. I'm going to go ahead and put a perpendicular line there. Okay, now this opening here is actually 1.5 inches, which is fine, but the skirt, if you see that here, is wider than the bodice. We have to then add that extra 1/2 inch right here to the edge of that back bodice. I'm going to make a new side seam for the back bodice, 1/2 inch wider. At that point, I'm going to go ahead and make my new hip curve for this back bodice from that waistline to this notch here, like that. The back also has a princess seam is where it starts, the first dart. I'm going to put an indication just like that. Go ahead and put a marking just like that. We're going to make 3/4 inch darts here in the back as well. I'm going to go ahead and put my 3/4 inch dart just like that. From that end of that dart, we add then another 1.5 inches. That's going to be the location for the second dart. I'm going to then put a marking like that and a 3/4 inch marking for the end of that dart. So this is going to be the new back. We want then the center of those markings to be the center of the dart, which is 3/8 inch. And you have to make sure you get the right side of the ruler because one side is wider than the other. So I'm going to go ahead and put here on, that'll be the center. I'm going to put it on the line and I'm going to draw a line straight up like that. That's the center of that dart. 3/8 inch here as well. I'm going to go ahead and put a line just like that, up above and below. At that point, we need to have the back darts are, I like to have them about 1.5 inches below the armpit. So from there, I'm going to put a perpendicular line to the center back and go ahead and put a line. That's going to be the end of that first dart. The darts in the back will be 5 inches below the waist. So I'm going to put a dot here and I'm going to put a dot here on the bottom. Here will be the first dart entrance, and that's going to be from dart point to this marking and dart point to this marking. You're going to do the same thing on the bottom as well, just like that. We're going to do the same, and then this one is another inch below that marking, and that will be where the second dart is going to be. And then from dart point to dart leg point, and the same thing on this side. From there, I'm going to go to the edge to that dart point, just like that, and this dart point, just like that. I'm going to fill in this dart up here, which is right here, because we do need to keep that dart intact, just like that. Okay, and there we have the torso sloper. This is the front torso sloper. This is the back torso sloper. Your back is never straight, so we're going to go in 1/4 inch here on the center back, and we're going to redraw the center back line like that. Now we're going to measure the waistline. So we're going to measure from here to that dart leg and carry it over like that. Then I'm going to carry it over to this side, just like that. And then over here to this side. Okay, when you do a torso sloper, you have to have a little bit more ease than if you were just putting the two pieces together. So we have 28. When the measurement of the bodice is 27, we want that 1 more inch to be for ease. So this is perfect. All right, all done. Ina had one more question, and she wanted to see how she can convert the 2 darts into 1 dart. That cannot happen. You cannot make an 1.5 inch dart and it not look completely strange. You cannot do that. But what I think you need to understand is that if you've seen them with just 1 dart, this is the reason why. There are 3 different ways of doing a torso sloper. The first one is the basic sheath with your 2 darts intact. The second one eliminates the darts that is closer to the side seam, like this. Once you eliminate that dart completely, you give a little bit more space to the waist and the hip, and then that becomes a shift dress, a little bit wider on the waist. If you get rid of both darts, this dart as well as this dart, this silhouette then becomes what's called a box fit. And those are the 3 different fits. I hope that makes sense, and I thank you so much for your question, and that is completion for this lesson. Thank you so much for this question. It was challenging. It's not easy to do, but I'm trying to make it as simple as I can so that you can follow along with me. All right, so you can ask me some questions or email me if you have any additional questions about this lesson, but otherwise we did it. Thank you so much, and ask me a question so that I can get ready for next month. All right, we'll see you there.